Hello Flosstube, it's Nichol. Welcome back to my channel. This is Flosstube number 88 and it is July 2nd, 2024. I am so glad you're here. Welcome back, Flosstube. I know it's been a little bit, I suppose, a little life update. Things are just really crazy behind the scenes, and sometimes it takes a little effort to muster up the, willpower, I suppose you want to call it, to gather all the things and film a video. And I kept wanting to be able to incorporate some new finishes, full finishes, FFO'S, and it just took me a little bit to get here. So I'm super excited. I did post on Instagram that I had some mishaps fully finishing two things. So full disclosure, I had planned to film Saturday morning, something I was FFO'ing. I thought I'd FFO it. I'd go ahead and do Flosstube, film Flosstube. That fell apart. Did not work the way I had hoped. I took what I wanted to do, my gut idea, and then I was like, I'm going to try something else. And I'm kind of mad at myself because it set me back like 2.5 hours. Which we'll talk about when we talk about FFO'S. And then, so I decided kind of Saturday, I scrapped the rest of didn't scrap the rest of Saturday, but I had done a lot of things and I knew I couldn't possibly film a video, edit a video, and get it up. I could have, but I didn't want to stay up all evening editing. So I didn't. And I thought, I'll get up Sunday morning. I had one other thing that I thought, if I wake up and I'm motivated, I'll FFO it and then I'll film. So I wake up, I'm in a great mood. I work on my FFO and it also didn't go well. And I ended up having to pull the whole thing apart and just start over. And I'm glad I did because I really love how it ended up. But again, that was like a 2-hour FFO and it was noon before I was finished, and then I did have some, my actual job, I did have a couple things I ended up having to do on the weekend, which is always kind of a bummer, but that's just where we're at right now. And so I thought, what? Instead of rushing it and not having it be what I want, I will just film it, but I won't put it up. Or I'll film it on Monday and I'll put it up on Tuesday because I already had a video on my channel for card making for paper crafting on Monday, all set to go. And I thought, what? We'll just do it Tuesday. I will feel good about it. I have plenty of time to edit it and it won't feel rushed. I've done the rush thing in the past and I'm not a fan. So that is my life update. Everything is good. Just busy. I'm really, really busy and I will be able to tell you why eventually, but I can't tell you yet. So that is that. I do want to take a minute before we jump into today's episode and let you guys know to stay tuned for Monday of next week, July 8th. There will be an announcement, and some sneak peeks of what the next SAL will be. All of the details will be revealed next week, during the week. You'll see what I mean. And I'm very excited about it. Like, so excited. So excited. So, I can't say a lot now. Next week's Flosstube, I will just kind of reiterate, stay tuned, whatever, and then we will talk about it. There will be some lives and things where if you have questions, you can ask me questions. This SAL will run slightly different, and all of the details will come when the SAL is announced. So, I guess that is it really for updates, life, all of those things. And I have a lot to share with you today. I have 6 brand new FFO'S. I know. And all Americana. All Americana finishing today. I have whip progress, and it's almost a finish for part of one of my charts. I mean, I worked on it nonstop, and I called it my almost full coverage piece. I mean, it's not, but we'll talk about it. I almost finished. I took a little break to do a couple other things and to FFO a bunch of stuff. I want to talk about previous Americana finishes. I will bring out some previous Americana things that I have done and share them, because I always like seasonally sharing all of those previous finishes. And maybe it's something you haven't seen before. Maybe you're new. If you are, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And previous subscribers, I'm so glad you're here as well. I have an unboxing of the Sew Sampler. That was real hard for me to remember the name of. I stood here. I thought I was going to have to look it up. I have that. I have maybe a couple of things of haul, maybe. I did get a box of Happy Mail, and then I'm going to do some nice giveaways this week as well. So let's jump into today's episode. All right, FFO'S this week. Some of you may have seen this on social media. I did post on my stories and in my grid that I stitched up the flag bag by Shepherd's Bush on the Berry Mad for Plaid bag by It's So Emma for Fat Quarter Shop. This is my first stitching on a mesh bag, and it for sure won't be my last. So easy. It only took me like an evening and a half to stitch. I did stitch with all of the called for purl cottons. I did stitch with the buttons that it's called for as well. A couple of questions asked, how do you protect your stitches? You don't, and I have been keeping stuff in here, and I have not found it to harm it at all. This is what I am going to keep all of my current Americana whips in. Kind of my plan is to keep this bag out and work on Americana stitching throughout the rest of the year. Probably not totally. I know I'm going to probably start working on a little Christmas in July and then go into fall and autumn. However, I would like to be able to touch some of my Americana pieces. I do want to finish the Stars and Stripes by Plum Street Sampler and Shakespeare's Peddler by Labor Day. That's my plan. We'll talk about that in whips. So it'll be stored in here. This is kind of my ongoing Americana stitching. And I actually think I want to do a seasonal bag like this, the Shepherd's Bush bag patterns seasonally, and have one for each season where my ongoing projects kind of live. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I love it. It's very easy. I highly recommend it. Speaking of the stitches, and I don't put anything on the back of it. Same thing for when I shared the Land of Liberty Shepherd's Bush bag. This is a little pre-made bag. It comes with the kit. And I didn't do anything on the stitches in here either. In fact, I just I store some things in here. This has some random project stuff that I think I didn't use. That's funny. So anyhow, this is just a great little way. I was actually storing like my other little shepherd's kit stitches, but I stitched it, and you'll see that here in a minute. But if you haven't tried one of these, I highly, highly recommend it. Easy stitch, cute, fun. It just makes me happy to pull this out. And you, of course, do not have to stitch it on the bag. You can do a little pillow. Look at the little example here on the chart. And then there is the scissor fob, which I did stitch up for my friend for her birthday. And you can do that really easily. And that's on the chart as well. So again, this is the flag bag by Shepherd's Bush. Okay. I had shared this finish of Liberty and Justice for All from Shepherd's Bush. It was a kit. I had purchased at Cecilia's Sampler in the summer of 2023 on my girls' trip, and I stitched up this year. It stitched super fast. I did leave off the words, and I did leave off the outer backstitch border, and I love it. I also finished it a little different. I already put my chart away, so I didn't pull it out, but I finished it into this little like elongated pillow, put a little fabric on the bottom. This is Sweetwater fabric. It's also on the back of my pillow. I used the included chenille trim from Lady Dot Creates that came with the chart. I did stitch this on the linen that came in the kit with the called 4 weeks Dyeworks floss. I added a little bit of Lori Holt, the large white vintage trim. I sewed on one of these little wood buttons that I love. I get mine from Amazon. I'll have it linked below. And then I just kind of stitched on this little red bow made with the Chantal's 141 design 1.5 inch size bow making tool. I think this is probably Stampin' Up! Ribbon probably to finish this off. I did add the 2 little buttons that came in the kit. I backed this piece with fusible interfacing, sewed the rickrack trim on, sewed the fabric, sewed the back. I did just do a little blind ladder stitch here in the back for my fabric like I do, and then I hand stitched on the chenille trim. And that is Liberty and Justice for All by Shepherd's Bush. I just love these patterns so much. These are a very nice little palette cleanser, like if you're working on a big project and you need something kind of small to just get that sense of accomplishment. That was kind of what this was for me. It was just a quick little fun stitch. So was the flag bag. I just kind of needed a break from the big project and wanted to have something I could stitch and finish, and this fit the bill. Plus I have some more awesome patriotic decor to add to my dough bowl. So that is the first thing. I have not put this one away yet. So this is called Patriotic Parade, and I can't really show the chart part of this. Here, I'm just going to fold that under. So it was also a kit that I purchased, and I think I actually purchased this one from Fat Quarter Shop. They have had, it's been in and out of stock several times, so you may just check there. I'll link to it if it's in stock. I'll just link to it in case because if you click notify me, that lets them know. I stitched this literally in an evening and a half, and I wasn't sure if I was going to stitch this on the called for fabric. Actually, I think I maybe picked this kit up at Cecilia's Samplers this year. Is that right? I might have. Anyhow, I have seen it at Fat Quarter Shop as well. And the called for fabric, let me look at this chart so I tell you. I think it's 20 count lamb's wool linen. Yes. So it was going to stitch huge, but I used it because I wanted it to fit. If I stitched it on something smaller, it was going to be teeny, teeny, tiny. And it came with this awesome, let me tell you the right thing, Impressions wool for the sheep. And I didn't know if it was going to look great on a really high count fabric where it was really tiny. And I'm glad I used this. I like the size. I like the size and the scale. And I wanted the button to fit correctly. That does come with the kit. Now, that was what was in my little Land of Liberty bag. I forgot I had this. I did not use the called for fabric. You can see the little pillow finish here in the photo. It comes with all of that. I just went my own way and did my own thing. I did a finish pretty much like the Welcome to Our Hive finish, the Primrose Cottage finish I did here a few weeks back. I will link that video down below. But I sewed a little piece of fabric here. This is all Sweetwater fabric as well. They kind of coordinate. I went ahead and made them coordinate on purpose. A little floral plaid. I did the rickrack. And then I did make cording. I did sew this one up at the bottom. And I made my own cording from DMC. I did hand stitch it on. Just whip stitched it on all the way around. And then I tied it here in the corner and left long tassels. I love the look of the long tassels. And I added a couple of just another Button Company pins kind of just right here to finish it off. Stuffed with polyester fiberfill. I go in waves of what I feel like stuffing with. These are both with poly fiberfill. I don't know. Sometimes I just get in a zone and that's what I feel like stuffing with. But I love these. I love that they coordinate. I just think they're so cute. And the fabrics really do help tie these together. I have a couple more of these I need to stitch. And so I'd like to get to them. I doubt it's this year, but I have these done. And again, this stitched so fast. Actually, did I stitch it all in one evening? I think I stitched most of it and then came back the next morning maybe and did early morning stitching and finished. It was really fast. Really, really fast. So again, that's called Patriotic Parade by Shepherd's Bush. That's my Shepherd's Bush kick. So I also shared that I had finished stitching the Faded Flag by October House Fiber Arts. And this is the guy that gave me some issues. I did finish him into a tiny little skinny pillow, just polyester fiberfill in this one as well. Kind of wish I'd done lizard litter, but I could pull it apart. I just did a stitch down, blind stitch at the bottom, so I could if I wanted to. Here's what I thought about doing. This is how I had intended to finish. And then I thought, well, I could take a piece of linen and do a backstitch line all the way around, take another piece of linen, do a backstitch line all around, and stitch them together like you do a biscornu or a mattress finish or a scissor fob or something like that, right? So that's what I did, but I took a piece of linen. It was the same count, but it was from a different brand. And even though I counted correctly, and it was a massive amount of backstitching because this is long, the other fabric must have been a tighter weave. They didn't line up correctly. I couldn't make it where I had it like stitched, stitch, stitch, and then I get to here and it's not lining up. So I have backstitched 2 pieces of linen and then started hand stitching them together. This is what threw me off Saturday and made me have to take a break. Like we were on a Ross and Rachel break because I was irritated. I mean, I was so mad. I ripped it all out. I had to rip out all the back stitching. That took forever. I then just took a piece of fabric. This is Sweetwater as well. I really love Sweetwater. I'm sure everybody's guessed that already here. And I stitched it together and it was done in literally no time at all. That's the part that irritated me, is that if I had just done this to begin with, I would have been done. But I added a little pin with some red, white, and blue buttons, all from my stash. I think I have a link to these pins, so I will add that. They're great for adding just a little something, and I love it. I love it, love it. It's very simple, just like the photo. And it turned out great, but that was where I went wrong. I said I would let you guys know. And it's just, it happens. It happens to everybody. So again, that's the Faded Flag by October House Fiber Arts. I love these little skinny mini patterns. I think they're adorable. Okay, also, I don't know if I showed this finished or not last week. I actually forgot to go look. Here. It's the Land of Liberty by With Thy Needle and Thread. Here's the inspiration, and here is my finish. So this also stitched quickly. I stitched this in about 2.5 evenings, 2 or 3, maybe 3 evenings. Really fast, great stitch. Great to add in. I love the colors. I love how it's a little different, but yet still, still on brand. I don't mind mixing and matching at all. So I stitched this on 36 count raw, 1 strand over 2 with all the called for floss. I know I've gotten asked quite a few times what color Liberty or the words are in. This is Hickory Sticks, I believe, by Gentle Arts. It's Gentle Arts. It's whatever the, here, I can tell you. My Old Hickory, not Hickory Sticks. Hickory Sticks is a classic Colorworks color. Old Hickory by Gentle Arts. That gives you that really great gold color. I will say that I didn't know if the red was going to look red because it looks really orangey. It is Chili Pepper by Classic Colorworks. But once you add everything else, it is amazing. So I love it. I love how the stars and the little fireworky things are almost ghosty on the fabric. I did have to use whatever fabric I had because the called for fabric was Legacy by Picture This Plus, and I didn't have it, and I just wanted to start. But I really love the raw linen, so that's what I went with. I did put another Sweetwater fabric on the back. And then this is Lady Dot Creates pom-pom trim in vanilla. And you pull it off of the, whatever that thing is called, the elastic basically. And you just stitch on, I hand stitch on my pom-pom trim. It just overlapped here a little bit at the bottom. But I hand stitch mine on. So I just whip stitched it on and I love it. This is just a little Tim Holtz pen. And I tied on some Lady Dot Creates ribbon. I used the 2.5 inch bow making tool with this crinkly ribbon. I liked this because I felt like it pulled out the color of the old hickory that I used in the stitch. And that is my Land of Liberty finish from Brenda Gervais. So here are my 4 pillows that I finished since the last time we talked. I'm really happy with the amount of patriotic things I have been able to stitch this year. Very, very happy. All right, one more FFO to share with you today. And that is, and I've already put this chart away too, but it's the Liberty Pennies by Hands On Design. And this is how I intended to finish the whole time I made it into a drum. So mine, I used I think it's like 3 7/4 inch circles from Fat Quarter Shop, the sticky circles, because I stitched mine on 36 count charcoal linen by Zweigart. Instead of the called for 32 linen, I did 36. So it fit on here perfectly. I put several layers of batting underneath the top, and then as a sticky circle that it's laced to. The bottom is some vanilla Lady Dot Creates velveteen on another sticky circle. And then this is that Sweetwater fabric that I kind of used throughout my finishing. And I did a fabric here. I know a lot of drums have your stitching here and then fabric or velveteen on the top and the bottom or whatever the case may be. But I did mine like this. I had thought it would be cute. I just stuck some little red, white, and blue buttons with a pin here in the top. And I made cording that kind of covered up where I hand stitched this together. Just kind of tidied it up a little bit and added a decorative detail. And I left tassels. So I filled this actually with wool roving, lots and lots and lots of wool roving, lots and lots. So this is the other project that had to be completely pulled apart. Laced this. The original piece I put here, I put a lightweight inner fusible. And I thought at the time that it might be a mistake, but I did it. And it was a mistake because it gave this no give at all. So I hand stitched the top and then and it was not fitting great, even though I measured it. And then I hand stitched the bottom and I filled it and it was wonky. I was so unhappy. It took like 2.5 hours to do. I was PO'd, really PO'd. And I ripped it apart and redid it. And I'm glad I did, because I love this. It just is something a little bit different. I like to have a few different kinds of finishes, and I thought, wouldn't it be cute, even stuck in a tiered tray or put on a tiered tray. I like that it's a little bit different. I had thought about putting some pins in, but honestly, there's so much going on in this stitch, it just took away from it. So ultimately, I just added one little pin with some buttons and left it as is. I love it. So again, that is Liberty Pennies by Hands On Design, made into a drum. I had thought I'd film this, but I'm actually going to finish something else like this, and I will film it and put it up here on my YouTube channel. So there will be a whole drum tutorial with 2 different kinds of drums coming very soon. Anyway, so that is my 6th and final FFO for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed all of those. So much fun. Absolutely had a blast, even though there were some missteps along the way that really set me back like 6 hours probably worth of work. That was, I hate to say wasted. It was learning. It was a learning experience. And so, or, you know, things don't always go right. It is just what it is. But I love it, and I'm very, very happy. So again, those are my FFOs. Now we're going to talk about either quilting or cross stitch finishes that I have done previously. The only exception, and I've shown it before, so it's not that big of a deal, is my flag quilt, which I don't know where I put it. I just spent 20 minutes down in my basement. I'm sure I put it in a box, probably not where it was supposed to go, and I'll find it later. But so I'm not going to show that here. If I find it surely I'll find it by next week, and I'll share it. So I'm going to show you one quilty thing, and then we'll do a bunch of cross stitch. So I know I've shown this before. This is my little tiny flag pillow, and it does match my quilt. It's very scrappy. I followed a pattern by, I will put it on the screen. I think it's Fiji Mama Quilts. It's not made for a pillow. I made it into a pillow to fit this 16-inch pillow form. All scrappy fabric, a lot of Sweetwater, like all of this is Sweetwater, Sweetwater, My Mind's Eye, Sweetwater, 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 Sweetwater. It's a lot of Sweetwater from a lot of different collections, but this little floral is My Mind's Eye. This is My Mind's Eye. I did a hidden zipper closure, and then there's just a pillow form in here in the back. I like to do hidden zipper closures. I personally like how my pillows look like this a lot better. This is something I started doing years ago, and this is really how I do all of my big quilted pillows like this. So this is just really fun. It's one of my favorite things I did, even though there are no triangles, half-square triangles, flying geese, anything, and it's all just these teeny tiny strips. This was a booger to piece because these are so tiny. It wasn't the worst thing, but getting all of these teeny tiny little flags lined up was a little bit of work, but I love it. It was a great way to use up a bunch of, scrap fabric, and it's such a fun part of my decor. So that is my first thing. That's my little quilty thing, and that's why I looked for that quilt everywhere. Couldn't find it. Now we're going to go through a bunch of cross stitch finishes. I got a big bag here full of it. So this is recent. I did stitch this last year, and I just finished it this year and shared with you. This is Cherry Hill Stitchery, land that I love. Stitched, this is Saltbush, 32 count Saltbush, 1/2 on 32 count. And then just this sweet little pillow finish. Again, this is the Mind's Eye fabric I just loved so much. This is too. This is my Mind's Eye fabric as well. And I did the cording around the edge for this one, ribbon, pen, all of the things. I showed this one not too long ago. Another recent one, of course, is our Patriotic Biscornus. This is the hands-on design pattern that we turned into a biscornu from our last stitch along. This is the 32 count and 40 count. I still have not finished my 36. We're on a break again. We're on a break. I will finish it. I just pulled it out when I was doing the Liberty Pennies because it was on the same fabric and thought, oh, you should get that done. But I will finish it and add it to my decor probably for next year. Pins are from Jersey Girl Stitch Co. And this is flax fabric, 40 count, 32 and 32 count. All the called for floss. Absolutely love these. Filled with walnut shells, so they're nice and heavy. And perfect little fun finish. Next, these are some of the first cross stitch that I did. These are the Primrose Cottage. United we stand, established 1776, and land that I love. You can tell I like this fabric a lot. And you guys, I didn't have a ton. I think I had a fat quarter. I had a fat quarter bundle. That's funny. It doesn't take a ton. These were stitched on 25 count mushroom, all the called for, I think. And then just stuffed with polyester. I have definitely improved my sewing up skills since then. They still need work, but it's fun to take a look at a peek back through things that I did, you know, previously. And while we're talking about that same fabric, we might as well pull out the other finish. This was my Let's Get Back to Cross Stitch pillow. I've talked about this. This was from a magazine. I actually gave the magazine away a couple years ago when I started Flosstube. So many questions about this. I think it was from Cross Country Stitching magazine. I can't even remember. I had started stitching this. It was like from 1996, 7, 8. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I had started stitching this. DMC. It's on Ada. I'm sure this is like the, I can't remember what this color's called. Got it at Walmart. I finished this in 2017. That's funny. But this is when I came back to cross stitch. I thought, well, I have to finish this. This is something I left off. This was a project this was the only project I had that I had not finished stitching. And so I finished stitching it. I remember I was watching, what was that show? Little Lies. I think that's the first season, if I can't remember if that's the name of it, with Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman. I know I was watching that and stitching this. Isn't it funny how you can remember like what you're watching or doing sometimes? And I remember thinking, ugh. And then when I finished it, I loved it. But this is one thing, this is a stitch I get asked about a lot. I actually made a pillow form for this. This also has that hidden zipper. I made a pillow form to fit this, finished it. It took me forever to finish this. I didn't finish this until like 2021 or 2022. It's one of the first things I finished and shared here when I started Flosstube, but I love this. And it definitely tells a story in my cross stitch journey. So this is, I will see if I can find the name of this. I'm sure I have it in one of my first Flosstubes, and I'll have it on the screen and say where it's from. You would just have to do a search for that old magazine. I know, I can't remember who won it at the time. I'd have to go back and look at that too. It's probably not going to happen today. But I remember whoever won this said that she was stitching it, so I believe. So super fun. Okay, this is Home Sweet Home. This is from Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. I believe this was stitched on 36 count vintage country mocha with all the called for floss. This is very much a beanbaggy pillow. I know this has got polyester fiber fill and poly pellets in it. I can feel them. It's more beanbaggy, but I sewed on some rickrack trim around the edge, and just so pretty. This was my first 1/1 experience with that little flag and the flagpole. Not a fan still, but it does make things look good. And this I stitched last year. This was really fast. This was the holiday 4th of July Holiday Hoopla, I think that it's With Thy Needle and Thread. This is a finishing piece from 141 Design. I mounted this on a circle glued pom-pom trim. There's another circle back here behind with fabric. Did a little bow, a little button, a little covered button with a star on it. This has the Whisper Floss for Uncle Sam's beard. I don't love stitching with it, but I do love the texture it adds. And just a super sweet, easy finish. Cute little self-sitter. Absolutely fun. Okay, the last thing I'm going to share today is last year's 4th of July stitch. This was Cherry Hill Stitchery, and we combined the stars and stripes with this basket. I can't think of the names. I will have them on the screen. I should have looked them up before I did this video, and I did not. We finished this on the Plentiful Pocket from 141 Design. This is the same board that I used for the More Chocolate Bunnies, but again, it's just so versatile and so many things will fit on it. I'm actually gonna switch cameras so you can see it better. Tucked in a whole bunch of fun little doodads into the pocket. Rickrack trim, it's matted on some fabric. You'll notice these match. Even though they're not the same designer, same paint, same fabric. I didn't use the same trim, but I don't think you need to. Same ribbon, all of that. And then I did do the covered button. I do have a tutorial here on my channel to show how to do that. And that is this beautiful finish. It's such a pretty one and really fun to tuck some of these other things around it in my decor. So I know that I have another quilt that I haven't sewn the binding on. I mean, it's been quilted for like a year. I'm gonna sew the binding on that this week, and I will find my flag quilt and I'll share those next week. I'm leaving my patriotic decor up throughout, obviously, all of July. I'm gonna continue to work on some patriotic as I start diving into Christmas in July as well, but just for my own home decor, I leave patriotic up probably through August, and then I'll decorate for fall. That's just kind of my plan this year. I put bees up in early spring when I took all my Easter down, and so I feel like enjoying my patriotic for a while yet. Let me know in the comments what you guys do. Okay, so that was previously quilting and, well, a little quilting, but mostly stitching. Let's dive in to my whips this week. I only have 2 whips because most of what I've been stitching I've been finishing, but this is almost a finish. It'll be a finish by next week, and then I'm going to move on to the rest, the charts that complement it. So my first whip this week is the Stars chart by Plum Street Samplers. And I mentioned this last week, or I mentioned this on Instagram, I can't remember which. This is the most delightful stitch. It is like this is the day. I had no idea that I would love stitching Plum Street. This will be my first, I think, full finish of a Plum Street piece. It's a lot of stitching. This is the one I joked is my full coverage piece, because look at this barn. Look at this, and then this I need to still fill in the grass down here at the bottom. So I have the green fill in here, and then I have the red stripes in the flag on the barn. I actually don't have that DMC color, and I have to run to the store, and I've been putting it off. I mean, I did this a long time ago, and then I filled in all of this since then. I love this. It took me a minute to get into it. I think that there, a lot of stitching. Even though this is not that big of a piece, it's a lot of stitching. And so but once you're into it, I find them delightful to stitch. Oh my word, I just love this so much. So this again is the Stars chart by Plum Street Samplers. I'm stitching it on 36 count winter brew. And I'm using 1 strand over 2 with all of the called for floss. There is nothing about this I don't love. I love everything. Now, I am going to point it out. There is a mistake. but I moved forward and moved on. I could have ripped it out. It would have required a little bit of rip out, but I decided it didn't matter. I'm telling you this because it really doesn't matter. I probably could have not said anything at all, but I'm going to tell you. This row of windows is up one row more than it should be. It should have been down one row, just one. I got off where I was supposed to do it. I corrected, when I caught it, I corrected it here, and I decided I wasn't going to go up and rip all of this out. I just didn't feel the need. How I did this was I would do anything that was in, oh, I see I'm missing a little stitch there too. It's dark red. I need to go back and do that. I would do the windows and like the little stars or whatever these are, and then I would fill into that section. So I had filled in all around it, and then I would fill, and I'd get to this row of windows and I would stitch the windows, and then I would fill in around it. It made it so I wasn't just filling in. I learned my lesson from the American Sampler House by Annie B's that was not how I like to do it. So I did the same thing here. I did the roof and I filled in, and then I came down and I did like an outline, and then I did the outline of this quilt star on the barn, did the white, and then I did fill in. I stitched this, I did fill in. I made sure I had these 3 light stripes that are this color in place, and then I did fill in. Then I did the windows and the door and fill in. Same thing down here. I ended up doing, well, I outlined it. No, I didn't. That's a lie. I did all of the little light green stars, and then I did outline, and then I'm filling in. So that's just kind of my way of getting around having to just sit and fill in. This will take hardly any time at all to get the rest of that filled in, and then I just need to do that and put that one little stitch in there. Now here's my question for you guys. I love these as pillows, but I'm really thinking I may take these and get it framed into a trio of frames. I'll wait till the other barn is stitched in the ampersand, but I'm thinking I'm going to do them in frames. What do you guys think? The models were stitched on 40. I stitched on 36. So this is, you can see my hand here. It is a little bit bigger than what the model is, but I think they would be beautiful framed. I really think I'm probably going to get it framed just because I think I just love these. I love these so much. Highly, highly recommend if you don't have them. Mine is in altogether because I bought it last year when it was a special. Now you can purchase the stars separately, and then you can get the and stripes. These come together from Shakespeare's Peddler. So again, that is my progress. It's almost a finish. Almost. Absolutely love it. Has been so much fun to stitch. My plan here for the 4th of July week, my stitching, this will be my 4th of July start, the other one. I hope to maybe stitch this one before the 4th or get started on it, but that will be my 4th of July start. And this is my goal is to have these stitched by Labor Day and then take them to get framed. So that's how I think I'm going to do it. You guys drop me a note. Let me know what you think down in the description. I always like kind of just bouncing the ideas off of you guys. Okay, my other whip this week is my Chalk Squared Moment in Chalk by Hands On Design. I am 2 months behind now because this is July 2nd that this video is going up, and I am working on May, so I haven't done June. Now, that said, I worked on this one evening. Okay, so one evening of stitching. I did start May. My plan is to get this completely caught up this month through July, but I stitched this wreath. I will say I find it slightly tricky to center it without tons and tons of counting. So I do put like pins in, and I line up the corners and make sure that they are together, and then I find the center and I count out from there. So what I did was I found the center, I counted, I started over here, it doesn't really matter. I stitched this little yellow flower, then I loaded up the green on my needle and I did the entire wreath. So I stitched the wreath just to make sure my spacing was good. And it does fill quite a bit. This one, you know, they're all different. So this does fill the space. So I made sure that it, you know, was even. And then I went through and I did all of the rest of the Harvest Moon color. All of the colors called for are Gentle Arts, and that's what I'm using. And I decided I'm just kind of color completing. So I've done all that. I think I'll do white next, then the light yellow, and then the light green, and then my back stitching. So that's awesome. And then I will work on June and then July. So that's where I am on this. And funny enough, bringing out my old whip, the pillow that got me back into it, as I was getting back into it and stitching that pillow, this was the series that I saw being stitched that I had to have and purchased. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of a full circle moment, I suppose. Oh my gosh, you guys, look how pretty. I don't lay it out enough. You know, you've got it all folded up when you're stitching, but when you look at it, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm going to be stitching white for days because my big plan of stitching, I say this every month I show this to you. My big plan of stitching all the scroll work around it, this has not panned out. So I'll be stitching white for days, but oh my word, this is so pretty. I'm still planning to have this done by the end of the year so I can take it and get it framed. I would love to go get it framed in December. I really would. Okay, so that's where I am at on A Moment in Chalk. My chalk squared. This is May. I'll add all the buttons. When I'm completely done stitching and I've ironed it, I will add my buttons and then take it to get framed. And this is stitched on 32 count charcoal Lugana, 2/2. Okay, so I am not going to move this wood piece because I did stitch something else since I was here last. This is the 141 design stitch exclusive designed by Kathy of Hands On Design. And it was a kit that the pre-order did end June 30th. I believe there will still be some kits. You won't get the kit, the bonus chart, which I haven't stitched. This is the main chart. And I think the kits will look a little different. I'm sure Chantal will post all about that. I did want to say I changed my colors. I used all color and cotton. I'm just going to fan these out. I just changed the colors a little bit. Most of the colors are from the June Color and Cotton Club. Not all though. And I just I did what I wanted. There was one part of this chart I changed. This is the finishing piece that I'm kind of hiding my stitching underneath. It is round. As soon as those who have got their pre-orders start getting theirs and showing it and all of that good stuff, as soon as those who've pre-ordered are getting their kits, I will share this. I don't think it'll probably be next week. It'll probably be a week or two after that. I'm going to FFO mine and then I will share mine here on Flosstube. But I did want to share my colors in case you liked the little sneak peek color that I shared. I'll just stick a photo in here too. I showed a little corner of my stitch, but I love this. It's stitched on 32 count antique white, 2/2. And I know it's not that exciting because you can't see the stitching, but I love this and I can't wait for you guys to get yours and stitch it. And I'm very, very excited. So, if you're interested, I used lilac, bumblebee, teal thistle, black ice, jade, spectre, coral trout, and tree frog. Those are my colors that I used for my stitch. So I have worked on one quilting project. I haven't got back to it. I did it a couple of Sundays ago, but I'm going to quilt it up tonight and get it finished and put on my entryway buffet table, just for decorations. I personally love table runners, table toppers. I love all of the things. I really, really love this collection from Lella Boutique. So I purchased the Checkers and Stars runner from Simply Stitches Fabric Shop. Now I don't think this kit is still in stock. If the pattern is still available, I will link to it. I do follow them on Instagram, and I think I'm subscribed to their newsletter as well, so definitely check them out. I'm going to hold it up and then I'll show it to you. I did piece it. It was a little bit tricky. It is, you know, kind of all on point. It's beautiful. I did buy it as a kit, so I only had to cut the backing. It's mini charm squares. Very easy though, very, very easy to piece. And here's what I got left. So I've got my backing, my binding, and then some scraps that I can use to do something. They even sent an extra little bit of fabric. That's a perfect cross-stitch finishing fabric. And the pattern, which I'm just going to fold because you can't see that. Easy pattern, beautiful graphics, so easy. I am going to show you this though, so you can see a little finish before it's finished. Isn't that so cute? So that is the little table runner. I'm going to just show you with the down camera. It's not very long. Let me find the measurements for this. 15 by 40 is the finished size, which is what I wanted, just something kind of nice and small. And has little stars in the corners and then all of the cute little squares. So easy to do. I did this in one afternoon on a Sunday, pieced the whole thing. Like I said, I'm going to quilt it. I'm just going to straight line quilt it in the kind of the way that I like. I'm going to use some of my warm and white batting that I also like, and it should be done pretty quickly. I will probably draw all my little lines with the heat erasable or the air erasable pen like I do, because I'm not very good at just eyeballing it. I don't like to eyeball it. I've learned my lesson there, and we're going to get this all quilted up and ready to go. So I have worked on that, and then I will have some more to share with you guys next week. Okay, haul. I did get my quilt labels from Sweetwater. I'm in the Sweetwater label club, tagged club, and this is this month's labels. So I always like having those to put on the back of my quilts and other finishes, my project bags and things. I did order some linen from Cedar River Linens. I love their linen. I got Coffee Stain. Chantal totally inspired me to get this color. I didn't think I wanted it, but she stitched, I think she stitched her American Sampler House on this, maybe. And I loved it. So I did get this. I got all of mine. This is 32. I've tried to get some more 32 fabric. I really like stitching on 32, and I don't have a ton. I got 32 in Maple Bar. I have Maple Bar in 36, so I bought some 32 Maple Bar. And then this is 32 Albarium, which is a really nice white, but not white. Oh, I should put the antique white next to this. Actually, super close. This is Albarium, this is antique white. This maybe is a slightly more white, but if you want it to look a little more antiqued, the Albarium is a great alternative. Maybe not for that stitch, but just kind of, you know, in general. So those are, and I ordered these a long time ago. They just came. I have been on the wait list for the Tilda fabric, the Creating Memories fabric. I think that's what it's called. Let me look. Yes, collection since I saw it. I'm a huge Tilda fan. I have several books. I haven't really made anything, but it's eye candy. And then I saw the fabric and I had to have it. So I'm going to take you through, I purchased the fat quarter bundles, and I'm going to show you what I would like to make from this collection. There are free patterns for so many things on the Tilda website. I will link to the Tilda website below. I will link to this collection at Fat Quarter Shop. I don't know what is still available and what is sold out, but I did want to mention it in case you guys are interested as well, because it is incredible. They have divided the collection, it's a huge collection, by season, and I'm just going to start with spring and go through summer, fall, and then winter, because winter has all of my favorites. Okay, so let's do spring first. This is what the Fat Quarter bundle looks like. I'm not going to unpackage it. I'm going to show you that. So this is the spring, and this is the coordinating fabric buttons. I just look at the colors, so beautiful. Now there's quilts and projects for all of these. There's a really beautiful flower quilt that I didn't print out for this. And remember, you can mix and match from amongst any of the different fabric collections as well. But here is the Easter eggs that I printed out. I just thought these are absolutely adorable, hung from like this little branch, little stuffed fabric eggs. Wouldn't that be so, so cute? And of course, I think these fabrics are perfect for our cross stitch finishing. They're nice little petite prints. So beautiful. So those are the Easter eggs. And this is the spring collection, and it is absolutely stunning. Okay, let's do summer next. This is like the summer blues, summer and ocean blues. And again, perfect for finishing. Mix this with some reds for patriotic. Here are the fabric covered buttons that coordinate with this collection. It's just so stunning. Every single one of these is stunning. Now I printed this out because I thought these would actually be kind of cute if you do the small one tucked into a dough bowl with maybe think the Stacy Nash I'm thinking the Stacy Nash whale chart. I know that there's other ones out there as well, but that's the first one that came to my mind, is the smaller ones especially, or if you've got little ones and you wanted to do a whole ocean theme room, this would be cute on the bed. These are absolutely adorable. So I printed this out just to kind of show one of the fun ideas that Tilda has for this. And along the same vein, there's also, and there's quilts. There's quilts for all of these. I did not print out the quilt for this. There is the starfish done out of the summer and ocean blues. Wouldn't that be cute tucked into a dough bowl with your summery finishes, especially like a beach home, or if you have a beach display, like I said, with the whales and all of that. I just thought that was so, so fun. And these patterns are all free on the Tilda website. So amazing. Or you can use your fabric you already have. I just wanted to show the new fabric because it's beautiful. Okay, fall. Will it shock anyone? I love fall. This is their fall palette, and this is the autumn and Thanksgiving and Halloween. Here's the fabric covered buttons. And here is one of the free charts. It is these stuffed pumpkins. Yes, I want to make these. I love, love, love these. I think they are stunning. So there's the pumpkins, and then there's also the butternut squash, or you could kind of think more of a pear. So if you want to mix pears into some of your cross stitch pear finishes, into a display or bowl, how amazing would that be? So that is the patterns I printed out for the fall bundle. And again, there are quilts as well, quilts, pillows, all of the things. Okay. Then the Christmas bundle is my favorite. Here is Christmas with the Christmas buttons. And I bought yardage of this to make 2 quilts. This is the first one. This is called the Holly quilt. I absolutely love this so much. And again, this is free. So I'm going to make the Holly quilt. The other quilt I didn't print out yet. It it's more of a fall quilt, but it's more in these colors. It's the apple quilt. I'm going to pop it in here, and I'm going to make the apple pillow that coordinates with it. I love it. Funny story about the apples. Years ago, when I was very young and I was married, I had like apples in my kitchen. And I was crazy about all apple things. I still like them. I don't know. I do know what it is. It's the color red. I like red a lot. So even though I know not all apples are red, I know. But I still love it. And I just loved it for fall. And I just think it's beautiful. So I actually bought enough yardage to make both of those and that pillow. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is you can make these stuffed apples as well. So, and you guys, I only printed off a portion of the free patterns from Tilda. Go check it out. It's absolutely incredible. So much good stuff here. And the collections are stunning. Highly, highly recommend. Look at these. Isn't it just the prettiest? And nice big collection and really, really fun. So that is the Creating Memories collection from Tilda. It is brand new. I would imagine it will sell really well because it is beautiful. And perfect for your cross stitch finishing. Pillow backs. I'm a big fan of a small print for pillow backs and for pillow finishing and cross stitch finishing, and this fits the bill for me. This checks all of the boxes. Okay, I want to say thank you to Fat Quarter Shop for sending the newest sew sampler. Let's do a little unboxing. I love what's inside. So when you open your sew sampler, it says the sweetest peach. This is the June box. The code this month is 20% off eyelet, yardage, and pre-cuts. And there's a code for it on the back of the insert. You always get the great little guide telling you what is included and the retail price of each, starting with the amazing little honey bun from Fig Tree. This is the jelly and jam honey bun. I love this collection. I actually didn't purchase this, so I was thrilled to get a honey bun because I do want to make something with it. Don't know if I'll make this or not. It's cute, but I don't know if I'll make it. So this is the pattern. So the honey bun price is $34.98 is the value. The peach preserves pattern value is $9.98. And of course you get the honey bun and the template, but you need to buy the additional yardage and backing to finish it. And then you do get the Creative Grids ruler. Love that. I love Creative Grids rulers. The ruler is valued at $18.49. And this is the 60-degree tiny diamond ruler. You do get some quilting needles. These are valued at $5.98. And then this is one of my favorite things, and they're new colors. These are the Little House pins. And these are the Fat Quarter Shop exclusive Little House pins. They're pink and teal. Oh my word, I hope they have these as an individual purchase because I'd buy more. Valued at $11.24. Little House pins are what I use. Here's what they look like. Joanna of Fig Tree mentioned these years ago, and you guys, I ordered them thinking, you know, how good can a pin be? I threw away all the other pins I had, and I only use these Little House pins, and I buy them. I buy multiple packages when I buy them. I love them. They're the only pins I use. So I was thrilled to see these in the box this month. Super excited. For sure gonna do something with that. And then what the other thing you get is the block 3, the 9-patch basket block for the Peaceful Baskets quilt. Love that, and that is valued at $4.98. I have to cover up the cutting instructions. So thank you to Fat Quarter Shop for the June Sew Sampler. Love, love, love it. I will have links down in the description below if you're interested in signing up. And I also put links if they have any a la carte boxes or any of these individual components available for purchase. So we're going to do some stitchy mail. I only have one thing to share, I think. My friend Christina sent me this absolutely stunning card. So beautiful. Thank you. And she said that I had influenced her to try stitching on higher count fabric. And so she wanted to share her collection of Aida with you guys. And I thought that was amazing because you guys, look at this. You guys, this is an amazing assortment. So today, and there's more beautiful Aida down here. I am going to be offering bundles in the giveaway today, not just of this, but with the other Aida I have received. So stay tuned for giveaways, which are coming up next. Okay, over the last, I don't know, couple months or so, I have received a lot of lovely happy mail from viewers who are sharing their Aida with me. And so today it is an Aida Lovers giveaway. I have divvied up the Aida I have received. Nichol, Zweigart, Picture This Plus. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each bag has 7 different packages of or pieces of Aida in it, including at least 2 pieces of Picture This Plus. These are what the bags look like, full. I'm not going to give each of them out. I have 10 of these to give away today. So chock full of Aida. So Aida lovers, rejoice. I've got you. A lot of neutrals, a lot of beige, a lot of that. There's some color as far as Picture This Plus. I can't guarantee in all of them. I tried to divvy it up as equal as possible, but the Picture This Plus was in different sizes, and so I just literally divvied it up. 7 different packages of cloth in here for Aida Stitchers. Now, I do want to tell you that a lot of the Aida in here, this new sal that I'm going to announce soon is Aida friendly. So there might be something in here you can use for that, or you can use it for whatever you want. I just wanted to pass along the love, and I thought this was an easy way to do it. It's going to be like a mystery bundle, I guess, if you will. I have 10 opportunities to win this. If you are interested in receiving a random package of wonderful Aida, put the word summer somewhere in your comment. I will choose a winner. You do have until the date shown here on the screen to leave a comment in order to be considered for the giveaway. Now, that being said, the giveaway thing has not been working great. I have had a lot of people not reach out to me. I don't know if it's because I just put it at the screen in the end screen or what, so I am just going to go back to announcing it for now and hope that people will see it. So I do want to announce the winners from my last Flosstube. Okay, so I had 2 giveaways from last week. The winner of the Sew Sampler bundle of Liberty fabric, chart, all of the good stuff, and the triangles on a roll goes to Debbie Domagal. I will put your name across the screen. If that is you, please send me an email at the email address listed down below, and I'll get that shipped out. And the winner of the Sew Sampler is Lewcrese Shields. So if that is you, please email me. Okay, hopefully that is going to make this go a little bit easier. Again, this week's giveaways are 10 packages of Aida. I do have a lot of past giveaways that weren't claimed that I need to go back through and kind of figure out. So I will be doing that to offer in future Flosstube episodes. I know I have one gift still to send out. I had to order new packaging. So if you won the Rainbow Project bag, I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. I had to order new packaging, and I literally got the new packaging and forgot to mail it. So that's going to go out this week. Other than that, I don't think I have heard from any of the other winners. So I'm just going to wipe that slate clean for now. Now, just a reminder, I do put timestamps down in the description. So if at any time you need to go back, you can always check. If you scroll down, if you click the read more and go down to the description, at the bottom it says chapters, and it will kind of skip you to anything that you might be interested in. In addition to that, I do try to provide links to anything I talk about. If there isn't a link, 9 times out of 10, it isn't that I forgot the link, it's that I don't have a shoppable link for you. So just a little FYI on that. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate all of you so very much. I hope you all have a wonderful 4th of July. I will see you guys all in the next video, and happy stitching! If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new Flosstube stitching or quilting video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. So we'll do a little bit of that today. I have the and Odin just opened my door.